Hey, what's up guys? It's Austin here from Mojave Spider, and in today's video I got another Morph Madness for you guys. And today's Morph Madness is the spider gene, which has a lot of controversy around it, and I'm actually going to make a video in the future about the controversy of the spider gene. A lot of people tend to like it and a lot of people tend not to like it, but not because how it looks, because how it reacts with other genes and the wobble associated with it. Before we get into all that cool stuff, huge shout out to Jersey Balls. Thank you so much for this really cool shirt. And if you haven't already guessed, they're from New Jersey. And if you check on the back, they're definitely slacking. But nonetheless, you should go and give them a follow on Instagram at Jersey Balls. And we'll get right into this really cool Spider Morph Madness video. So here is a typical spider ball python, and the reason they're called spider ball pythons is because they have this webbing pattern coming down the back, as you guys can see, almost like a spider web. Another trait that the spider has is this really cool speckling on the sides that is white, and it's really polymorphic trait. So polymorphism means that not all the animals are going to look exactly the same, but they should express some limit or some variation of that trait. And basically you can get some spiders with really high white sides where the white almost comes up to the dorsal, and some that barely have any white and just have a few specks. But this spider has a lot of white, as you can see, and usually when you have a spider with a lot of white, you'll get this really nice yellow tones towards the belly. And basically, spiders, a very easy way to identify if your snake has spider in it is a wobble. And not all spiders wobble, but a lot of them do. And basically the wobble is that they cannot properly use their motor functions. They do have a slight corkscrew or wobble to them, which is a neurological issue with a spider morph. And actually right there when I was just handling her, she just bit me. You got a little bit of blood coming out, but that's okay. She's a little feisty. And typically this is what a spider ball python's head will look like. You have eye bands stretching almost all the way back to the back of the head, and this generally clear plate on the very top. Sometimes you can have a head stamp in there, or it could be tighter together, but generally this is what you're looking at in a spider ball python. So now let's go move on to some spider morphs. This beautiful snake right here is a pastel spider, or better known as a bumblebee. And basically it's called a bumblebee because the bright yellow it expresses when you add the pastel into the spider. And you can see that the pastel has changed the spider head, has washed it out, made it a lot more bright, and even took those lines that were back along the eye stripes all the way to the back of the head and kind of erased them, which is really cool. You still have those really nice white sides, and once again the polymorphism in the white sides is there, so you can have ones that have white almost all the way to the top, white like this, or barely any white. But this is a very nice example of a spider. She barely has a wobble. You might have noticed right now when I touched her head, she kind of shook her head a bit when she was going back, but that is just from the wobble. And like I said, no two spiders wobble the same, and it's really nice when you get one that doesn't wobble a lot like this one. And this one is actually sisters to the last spider I just showed you, and she is also 66% het pied. But very easy to tell the spider in here because you do have that webbing pattern again on the back, and you just have the pastel brightening it that much more. So let's move on to another spider combo. This guy right here is a banana spider, and you can really tell how much banana has changed the spider look. It hasn't changed the pattern that much, but the color is totally different. Banana is a really big color changer. It adds all the yellows, orange, and purples you see, as well as these really cool little black spots. You still have that overall spider pattern with the webbing going throughout the snake, and this guy does have a little bit of a wobble, and he has a really cool head stamp on him. You still have those really thick eye bands going all the way to the back of the head. But one thing I really like about banana spiders is the bright oranges you'll get on the dorsal, as well as these purples you get in the webs, which is really cool. This guy is also 66% het pied and siblings to the last two ones I showed you. I have one more sibling in the clutch, which is a banana bumblebee, which I'll be getting into right now. This little shy guy right here is my banana bumblebee, and you can still see he has the spider pattern with the white sides, but the white sides are really taken away when you have banana and pastel, because banana already brightens it, makes it a really nice yellow, and the pastel brightens it that much more, almost making it a creamy white snake. It looks really cool. You still have that banana head. Let me see if I can get him to show you his head. There you go. You still have that banana head. He is going into shed, and you guys can see that from the crinkling around his neck and on his head. His skin is just shedding right now, so it is overlapping a bit, which is very common in ball pythons, but you still see that really nice webbing pattern of the spider, as well as some of the black dots from the banana. But the overall color has changed a lot from the banana bumblebee. You no longer have those purples. Instead of these really nice, almost look like a toffee ball python, these really nice creamy colors. It's a really cool snake. And he does have a bit of a wobble, that's why his head is not out right now. He's trying to hide. But overall, still a very beautiful snake. And we'll move on to the very next spider combo. Here is a spider Krypton. If you don't know what a Krypton is, it's a het cryptic, het clown. It's allelic, just like Toffino, except that when you have cryptic and clown together, it visually expresses the cryptic gene. So a spider cryptic will look very similar, if not identical, to this guy right here. And you have this overall brightened tone that Krypton or cryptic likes to do. It likes to brighten the snake up. So it's a lot brighter than a normal spider. It brought in all this nice orange and yellow pixelation along the white sides. And like I said before, the white sides are not always really high, and this is a perfect example of that. And I actually have this guy's brother right here, who is a bumblebee Krypton. So this is a pastel spider, het for cryptic, het for clown, and you can just see the cryptic eye stripes. The eye stripes in cryptics have really wide eye stripes, and they tend to make the head pattern look like it's pinched together, as you can see here. You can also tell on this guy over here. But two really nice spider combos. They don't express too much of the wobble, as you can see. And that's just to show you more of the variancy inside of the spider complex, or the spider gene. So some of them can wobble a lot, and some of them do not wobble. And there's actually some genes that you can add into spider to take away that wobble, and blackhead is one of them. But when you have a blackhead spider, it looks almost identical to a normal with a little dot on the head, which is very odd. And there's actually other allelic snakes with spider, like spot nose, champagne, and a lot of the other genes that wobble or are lethal in supers. So Cypress is another one of them. So it's really odd that we're just figuring this out this year in 2020. There's going to be a lot more allelic combos in the future, I believe. So we're going to have to wait for that. I do not have too many spiders in my collection, so I'm going to go and show you the rest of them. I might have 3 or 4 more to show. I'm not going to show any of my breeder females because they are bigger and they're actually just got fed today. So we're just going to stick to the babies and the juveniles. But let's move on to the next snakes. Here is a special spinner, and a spinner is a pinstripe spider, and basically the pattern you're seeing on this animal right now is the spinner. So basically pinstripe and spider together thin out the spider pattern and it whacks it out completely. It's really cool looking snake. You can see that the special is also adding something, because a normal spinner tends to be very gray and almost brown, just like a spider. But when you add the special, it brightens it up a lot. And this guy actually is possible het for pied and het for monsoon. I would not be surprised if he proved out het for monsoon, because this pattern is just that much wackier than the other special spinners I've seen in the past. But you still get that spider eye stripes on the top. And you do get this webbing pattern, but to me it looks a lot more like a web when you add pinstripe to it. It's just super wacky and a really cool snake to have. And as you can tell, this guy has a very minimal head wobble. So when people tell you that all spiders have really bad head wobbles, you don't have to believe them, because it's not always true. Even though some of them are really bad and have really corkscrews and they just cannot even eat. This guy has been thriving, eating well, and I haven't noticed a wobble on him yet, which is very exciting for me. And this guy will be listed for sale soon. So if anybody's interested in this animal, hit me up on Instagram. Now let's get right into the next spider combo. This feisty girl right here is a Mojave Spider, and you can see how much Mojave and Spider work really well together. She is one of those that doesn't look like she has a head wobble, but really cool. You have this nice golden tone that the Mojave brought into the Spider, as well as reducing the pattern to just a nice line down the dorsal with the webs flecking off on each side. We also have these dots inside of the quote-unquote alien heads, and I'm just trying not to get tagged here, guys, while I'm showing you this. But a really bright snake, a lot different than just a spider or just a Mojave. And this girl is also possible double het for Monsoon Pied. I'm not too sure that she's going to prove out for Het Pied, but it does look like she's going to prove out het for Monsoon with that really nice head stamp and just the wacky pattern she has on her. I have seen other Mojave Spiders in the past that are a lot cleaner, and I know Het Monsoon brings a lot of wackiness into the snake. So definitely this girl's going to be holding back here, and in hope that I can make some Spider Monsoons and Mojave Spider Monsoons in the future. So if you can go right now down below and comment a prayer hands or some positivity that this girl will prove out het for Monsoon, I would really appreciate that. And we'll get on to the last spider morph I'm going to show you today. And the very last morph with spider I'm going to show you today, and one of the last ones in my collection, is this special spider possible double het for Pied and Monsoon. And I think it's very safe to say that this girl is going to prove out both het Monsoon and het for Pied. If you take a look at her pattern, it's really wacky. Usually special spiders do have some type of wackiness to them. Their pattern usually looks more like it does up here, but with all this really wackiness over here, this peppering and just the alien heads bleeding together, I'm pretty confident that this one is going to prove het Monsoon. And if we take a look at her belly, she does have a ringer. Right over there you see some orange, and that's a great sign for the het Pied. So this girl is going to be staying back here with me, but you can really see how much special changed the overall color. It gave it a more gold tone, and it's really rich, has some reds and oranges coming up the sides. And this is another one that does not seem to have a wobble, which is super cool and definitely going to be a nice holdback to have, as when I'm feeding her, I'm probably not going to get struck as much as I would if she were to have an intense wobble or corkscrew. We still have that spider webbing down the back, but once again, just like the Mojave, the special really reduced it to some dorsal pattern. And we do have a dot on the head, but this is typically what a Mojave or a special spider will look like, not a Mojave. I just showed you guys the Mojave Spider, but this is typical of what a special spider will look like, except the wacky pattern. So generally, once again, it will tend to look more like it does around the neck. You'll have all these nice alien heads or keyholes and this nice gold orange tone to it. So I'm gonna go put this girl away, and then we're gonna get into the end of the video. So that's pretty much it for today's Spider Morph Madness video. Stay tuned for my controversial video on Spider in the future, where you guys will see some more Spider morphs that I have. Maybe in the future Billy will let me do a video at his place where I show you some of the crazy spider combos he has, because he has 10 or even 10 times more, maybe 20 times more spiders than I do. I just do not like to have spider too much in my collection because of the wobble, but I do love its beauty and I do like looking at them, and some of them with wobbles are unique and I do enjoy them as well. But I do have more that are eating right now. I just do not want to mess with them too much, because when a snake eats, it's not good to go play with them because they could regurgitate. And when a snake regurgitates, it gets all that acid from its belly up its esophagus, in its mouth, and it's definitely not a good thing for your snake's health. So if you do have a snake that just ate, best thing to do is wait 2 to 3 days and just let it be, and then you can play with it after or handle it. That's the best thing for your snake's health and ensure that it will be with you for many more years to come. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do not forget to comment down below what you guys would like to see next. So I do have some other morphs. Fire could be one of them, Lesser, Mojave. You guys go and pick between those 3 morphs. Comment down below and I'll definitely go and do next week's Morph Madness on one of those. So do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.